There are voices shaping your life. Some are loud, some are subtle. All of them are forming you. Most people believe they are navigating those voices correctly until they encounter pressure, the issue that inflames them, the thought that governs them, the reaction they cannot control. And in that moment, what is inside becomes visible. Welcome to the Voice in the Reckoning. This is not motivational content, it is diagnostic. We examine the voice of self, the voice of the world, the voice of the demonic, and the voice of the Holy Spirit. Because the danger is not hearing a voice, the danger is misidentifying the source. Spiritual warfare is not theatrical, it's cognitive. And what repeatedly governs your mind will eventually govern your life. Discern the voice, submit to the Spirit, govern yourself. This is the Voice in the Reckoning. Episode 7, Marriage as Spiritual Architecture. Marriage is not sustained by emotion, it is sustained by structure, whether good or bad. And we certainly don't want it to be sustained in a bad way. Most people enter marriage emotionally. Very few enter it structurally. And eventually, structure reveals itself. Marriage is not merely two people living together. It is two lives becoming one structure. Two minds, two histories, two emotional systems. And four voices operating within that structure. The voice of self, the voice of the world, the voice of the demonic, the voice of the Holy Spirit. We have a problem because we're broken. Each person is governed by self. Therefore, most relationships are governed by self. Two individual, disunified selves. How does it work? The self requires self-protection. It looks to self-interest. It seeks self-preservation. And when two ungoverned selves collide, conflict becomes constant. Not because love disappeared, but because love is not understood. Love is about self-governance, and self-governance is practiced little in this life. In fact, it is often absent. The world teaches relationships transactionally. What do I get? What do I feel? What am I receiving? Commitment becomes conditional on the transactional status. Convenience becomes the bully, and bully becomes the authority. The covenant weakens, and division is fostered. The demonic voice magnifies division. It magnifies offense. It magnifies pride. It magnifies misinterpretation. It isolates people emotionally while leaving them physically close. And over time, distance becomes normalized. This is not an emotional state, it is a spiritual state, because we were created for unity. And this is the problem. The role of the Holy Spirit is significant because the Holy Spirit governs differently. He calls both people toward submission, not domination. Submission to truth, submission to discipline, submission to correction. Without shared submission to the Holy Spirit, the structure fractures, eventually. Agreement is deeper than emotion, and it needs to be discovered. Emotion changes. It does not produce unity. But what of this unity that I speak of? Unity stabilizes because we were created for unity. God is unity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, all unified in goal, shared values, shared discipline, shared direction. Unity founded on submission is what creates endurance because it is a spiritual structure. Unity was embedded in each individual from God directly. The attempt at unity as we know it creates pressure. This is the problem for most marriages, if not all marriages. This pressure is a natural result because of our brokenness. But pressure does not destroy marriage. Pressure reveals the structure of a marriage. Under stress, the tone changes, patience weakens, hidden instability surfaces, and what was unmanaged becomes visible. Ask yourself, what voice governs this relationship most often? The voice of self, the voice of the world, the voice of offense, or the voice of the Holy Spirit? And what patterns continue repeating because they remain unexamined? Marriage is spiritual architecture. 2 people, 4 voices, 1 structure. And the structure will always reflect what governs it. Discern the voice, submit to the Spirit, govern yourself. This is the voice and the reckoning. The battle is rarely external first. It begins internally, in thought, in agreement, in reaction, in what you repeatedly allow to govern you. The world will speak, the self will react, distortion will present itself as truth, but the Holy Spirit still brings clarity, not confusion, not condemnation, clarity. And discernment begins when you stop automatically agreeing with every voice in your mind. Examine what is shaping you. Examine what you repeatedly defend. Examine what continues to produce instability, because what governs the mind will eventually govern the life. Discern the voice, submit to the Spirit, govern yourself. This is the voice and the reckoning. I'm John Diomede. For more information, visit our website, voiceandreckoning.com. If you want to contact me, use the email on the website. I am available for seminars, speaking engagements, podcasts, and more.